James Bond had one. Tom Cruise always have one. Now we also have an opportunity to own one. Yes, I'm talking about BMW Motorrad and their new addition to the Indian market, G310R and G310GS. Welcome to Hanmust On Wheels and enjoy the first ride of the twin brothers from BMW Motorrads. As you all know, BMW is one of the most premium bike manufacturers in the world, and they are one of the leading bike manufacturers in Europe. But they wanted to spread out their footprint to the rest of the market like Asia and Far East countries. For that they need a smaller segment, so they introduced the 310 series. But we have an advantage here because they have partnered with India's TVS to develop this bike. So we are getting this bike on a subsidized rate, but it is too expensive than what we have offering with the other sibling. The G310 is costing around 2.99 lakhs and the GS is costing around 3.7 lakhs. But if you want an aspiration brand like BMW, you'll have to spend. But you are getting little more from the younger sibling from TVS. Let's find out what are the difference between the BMW and the TVS from the same platform. When I stand behind the GS, one thing which comes to my mind is the first glimpse of the BMW Motorrad which I seen from Mumbai. It was a F650 which was officially launched in late 90s in India. And it was a touring model. So always I had a flair for the touring models from BMW. I loved the GS variant, GS 1200 when I ride it for the first time a few years back. Then onwards I've been falling in love with the touring model. So I'm going to pick the GS first for my review. So let's check out what are the design cues of the GS which look like its elder brother GS 1200. Even both the bike G310R and G310GS follow the same platform, engine and the chassis, the design has differentiation from both this variant. Because the touring model look more aggressive, more off-roaded kind and has got the flair from the GS variant, which has got a 10mm height difference from the regular model and got a touring guard which again is purposeful. The stance itself is different, the sitting position is different, you are getting more upright sitting position and it's good for off-roading and cross-country rides. The engine is a reversely mounted 313cc engine which is having an output of 36 PS and 28 Nm of torque and is mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox driven by chain and has got a different ratio from the TVS Apache. Among the twins, I think the GS is more for India, especially when it comes to the touring category, because nowadays we see people going for expedition for longer rides and enjoying the ride. For that, this is a good bet because it's in a league of its own. There is no direct competition. I just had my wonderful ride with this one, both on-road, off-road and mixed condition with the kind of roads which we see in India, the broken roads. It was amazing. The suspension was amazing, especially because of the higher suspension, the travel distance on most of the condition actually giving more cushiony ride. It has got proper action, so we are getting a lot of confidence when you're riding it, especially when you're tackling all the bad patches of the roads and on known tarmac area. It's giving a lot of confidence. And the thing with this one which I've seen is the lower in torque on a higher gear is very less because of the mapping of this smaller engine. Maybe it's a quarter-liter engine. So whatever we experience from the bigger BMWs, we are not getting that confidence higher gear. And if you downshift and keep in momentum, you can easily tackle all conditions of the road. And again, the problem is when you're on the lower gear, you need to tend to give more throttle to keep the engine running. So that time, it may be a kind of risky to spin off on the rear. Otherwise, it is amazing, especially among the both. This could be the more practical one for India. The The G310R follow the design philosophy which are very familiar in the BMW Motorrad family, which is the naked bike design. We have seen that in S1000R and K1300R. A lot of similarity had been seen on the design, but we can also see some similarity from the Apache. We can't complain that because both the bikes are developed jointly. The engine is a reversely mounted engine, which you have seen it. A monocoque chassis is there, the swing axle is there. So the body shape is more or less same with the Apache, but Apache follow more of a sports bike design with more fairing and covering, and even the position, riding, handle, everything is more sporty quiet in Apache. Whereas on this one is more of a naked bike design, which is more convenient for a day-to-day ride and city ride. And the handle is similar with the GS, but the positioning is different. Even the seats are more better than in the Apache. It's more softer cushioned, and you can use it for a longer ride. You won't feel uncomfortable. Look wise, on the fender there is no other fairings or anything. There's an option to fix a windshield if you want as an accessory. There's an absence of LED headlight compared to Apache, but you can get halogen. It's a beautiful V-shaped design. On the rear end, there is no much element. There's only a LED tail light which is fitted on the fender, which look attractive, it's sporty. And the gap between the body and the wheel, because of the swing axle, also give a more sportier glance for the bike. Just now I entered my ride of the G310R, and I have to say it is more refined than what we expected, and it's much refined than the Apache because it's more on-road performing bike. It's meant for that. The tuning is like that on suspension. Even the engine tuning is more linear power delivered. It's more refined, and you will feel more comfortable riding this for a longer distance than on the Apache. One is of course the position. It's not leaning so much forward. It's a little more upright than the Apache. Second is the seat is very comfortable. It's a very cushiony one, and for the longer journey, especially on such a bumpy road which we had today, this seat give a plushiness for your back, so it will give more comfortable ride. Handle and the front fork has been tuned in a way that it's not giving a lot of pressure to your shoulder. So even if you are taking a lot of cuts and corners, you don't feel that much tired after riding this one. That is again another advantage of G310R, because it's meant for the road and it's been developed like that. Even though it shares the same platform of Apache, this is more on-road bike rather than Apache. Apache is more sporty and track bike. So that is reflected on the first ride experience. Even then, I would say GS would be a better pick because of its touring nature and upright position, and it's more convenient and easily rideable in any condition, city, road or off-road. So I was enjoying the GS more than the R. Once we end this ride, we clearly know what are the difference between the similar breeds from TVS and BMW. BMW is having more refinement, the tuning is different, and it's trying to be more rider friendly on the roads. When it comes to G310R, it is more road friendly than Apache, but Apache is more track friendly and it has more sportier elements to that. Whereas the GS is in its own league where they don't have any right competition right now, so it's playing a very comfortable game. In India, both the bikes will be selling on a limited number because of the limited network and other facilities from BMW. But I think among the two, GS will be selling more because of its advantage of being a touring bike.